Welcome back, Tarot fam. I'm Annabelle. I'm a tarot practitioner and psychic for over 35 years. And in this video, it's part 2 of Wicked Wednesday. And we are going to be talking with Nicole Brown Simpson from the Beyond. Stick around. Hi, Tarot fam. Good to have you back. So we are going to be talking about Nicole Brown Simpson in this video. We are going to be doing some astrology, some numerology, some psychic work, some scrying. We're going to be having some fun, some channeling. So my new format for some of my readings is going to be astrology is the climate, numerology is the weather, tarot, psychic, scrying. We'll show you what to wear. So, or we're going to channel. In this one, we're going to channel. We're going to ask Nicole some questions. So, Nicole, let's start with her sun sign astrology. We're going to keep it real high level for this. We're not going to go into aspects or anything deep like that. I am still an astrology student. I just started really studying it this year. And I don't want to get too far into the weeds, but we're going to talk about her sun sign. Nicole was a Taurus Sun, May 19th, 1959. As we said in the earlier video last week, OJ is a Cancer. As a Cancer, my grandmother was a Taurus. They're very difficult to get along with. They're a little too rigid. But Taurus themes, the good and positive themes, are loyalty, stability seeking, beauty, sensuality. They'll endure more than others for security. So shadow aspects of Taurus, they sometimes stay too long. Fear of instability, trapped by comfort. They will kind of return to comfort, and they are very resistant to upheaval. We all remember one of the 911 calls where you could hear poor Nicole going, OJ, 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 trying to level out the chaos of his emotions in that moment. You could hear him yelling in the background. So OJ's Cancer possessiveness, which is a shadow side, and Taurus's need for grounded security, makes kind of an icky bond. We've got water and earth, and that makes mud. It's very hard to untangle that karmically. So let's look at the sky of that night. We're going to look at this through the lens of Nicole's astrology. So Capricorn moon was emotional suppression, survival mode, and cold external appearance. The Gemini sun, public story fragmentation. So was she planning to completely pull apart from OJ, meaning going to that next level of post-divorce co-parenting? Was she emotionally done with him? I'm going to pull one card before we bring up the card view, because we're going to talk about the numerology before that. One card. Was she going into next level of relationship strength? No, she was still struggling. Strength in reverse. She was still struggling with how to manage the co-parenting post-divorce relationship. And I think that OJ was pretty volatile, and that was complicated. So was she emotionally done and still just strategically trying to work her way out of it? Knight of Wands. She was ready to fight. She really felt like she was in a strong enough place that she could kind of kick back at him and, say, well, I'm a big girl now. I'm standing on my own 2 feet. So she really was looking at that. So what about OJ? Was OJ getting into second level post-divorce co-parenting kind of situation? 4 of Cups. They had gotten back together so many times. He still thought that that was a possibility. Emotionally done. Justice in reverse. How could she leave me? I have given her everything. She wouldn't be where she is if I didn't do it. So that is the energy there. Let's talk about numerology. So it's a personal year 2 for Nicole in 1994. It was a relationship karmic test. So was 1994 meant to be the year that she fully separated karmically? King of Cups. She needed to keep a lid on her emotions. Three of Swords, she was healing, but not healing fast enough. So, when I say keeping a lid on her emotions, I don't mean repressing them, but to express them in a different way, which is really difficult when you're dealing with someone who is chaotic emotionally, when you don't know what to expect, when someone is deeply rooted in being right and being the leader, like we saw with OJ in his life path 1 year. So let's pull some cards on this. We'll pull up the card view and we'll pull some cards. So how is her self-worth doing in the wake of the divorce, 1994? How was that doing? Her self-worth. Page of Swords. Now that, I think, I hate to say this, that it's problematic, but she was able to kind of give as good as she got. So if he was a jerk, she would barb it right back to him. Her voice was, this may help. So, finding her voice, this is a specific card to this deck. This may help. This may hurt. You can see what's going on there. She got the this may help card. So her voice, she was trying, it's almost like trying to play tennis with someone, but they have a golf club, if that makes sense. They were playing a game, and the game was point structure and winning and going back and forth and keeping the ball in the air. But OJ had a golf club and she had a tennis racket or pickleball racket. So her autonomy, where were we in the autonomy? Judgment. I think she was getting to the point where she was kind of annoyed about having to go it alone. She really did want to kind of settle into another lifestyle. But there was this specter of the divorce that was hanging over her. She was always concerned about bringing another party into the ghost of the relationship that she had. So how about her level of safety? Two of Swords comes and goes, comes and goes, comes and goes. Let me ask this. This is kind of a bigger question. Did Nicole's soul choose this level of visibility to expose some DV culture? What was the reason for that? Knight of Swords, destructive energy, Two of Pentacles. Yes, this was an illustration of how hard it is to leave, even when you have all means necessary in terms of wealth, location, privilege. It's still, DV is still in existence, even when you have buckets of money. So did it help? Seven of Swords, Judgment in reverse, and this may hurt. It created more conversation. Just indulge me. Was it really her sister Denise's her efforts after that really helped DV? Yes. Denise did a lot of work with DV organizations, and there is some things were brought to light where there wasn't enough support, enough options for women of no means and women of means. So I do think that karmically this was to bring some things out into the open. But it was more, that mantle was taken up by Denise, her sister. So how is Nicole's soul right now? Now, the last time I read for her, she was not really as at peace as I would have liked her. And what she had told me was, I don't want to talk about this anymore. I don't want to talk about this anymore. So now she is much more settled. That Seven of Wands, there's still an interesting voice in her that will kind of let you know what she thinks. I'm not saying she's bitchy, but the clarity of communication comes through very, very clearly even now. So I think that voice is going to be stronger. I've got my handy dandy obsidian orb from Otter Spirit. Again, if you would like to get some intentional jewelry or an orb for yourself, they have lots of different orbs on the website. You can use the link in the description of this video to let them know that I sent you over. Love this company. And you can use Fortune 20 for 20% off any purchase, and Fortune 30 for 30% off any purchase of $99 or more, $99 that is. So let's settle in and do a little scrying, guys. So Nicole, is there anything that you want women to know? And the first thing that she says, when you get into it with a creepy creep, you know it. And that's the time to leave. The first indication, the first sharp word, the first bad attitude, the first action, that is your sign toward the exit. That's pointing you to the exit, she says. And you should go then. Go then. There is a roommate that she had that she looks back to him. And this is well documented in case any of you are familiar. I'm not divining this, but psychically, she is pointing me to that roommate. And that was the guy I think she was sharing a place with him, or they lived next door to each other. And she had come home from the date and she had said, I think her shirt was ripped or her pants were ripped or something. And the friend was like, "What's that all about?" And she said, "Oh, he's a little adamant about getting what he wants." And he was like, "Yeah, that's not a good thing." And she says that should have been her road sign to get out. And that wasn't a negative, violent situation. That was a passionate situation. So those signs, she says that all individuals, not just women, all people that experience DV should be keen to pay attention to. Now, do you reclaim your voice? What is your plan to regain your voice in the next time? So, there's it's funny because she's very keen on suffragettes, like yeah, those suffragettes, and she wants to be like a suffragette in the next lifetime, next go around. She wants to be a leader of women. She wants to be a voice and a structure that provides for women better. That kind of, she wants to be a standard bearer. And this is to level the differences between how men and women are seen in the world, the differences between them. She says that that they're not the differences between men and women are not acknowledged in positive ways when it comes to DV. The attitude of like, well, you married him, you picked him. That's something that women that are involved in DV relationships often hear. I heard it with a boyfriend who was not very nice to me. You picked him, and that's not what somebody wants to hear. So she wants to change that. There has to be an understanding that there is always a difference in body makeup, weight, height, those kinds of things. And that sometimes too much responsibility, intellectual responsibility, is put on one party when they are physically unable to match the other. And that is something, it's a very complicated thing. I don't think she knows how to sort it out yet, but that is the voice that she's working on for the next go around. So she says, I'm sorry. She wanted to be here longer. She wanted to stay longer. And she says the agreed upon exit was either then or like the next 5 years would have been an exit. So does this case serve a collective karmic function? Yes, she answers right away. Yes. This was, one that affected the legal system. It affected racial discourse, media spectacle, DV conversation, different class structures, celebrity versus regular person. It opened up a lot of karmic functions, and all of them were there. Interestingly, she keeps saying like Mark Garagos had a karmic function in here. He was one of the attorneys, still an attorney. He just was on the case for a little bit. So is there anything that she would like all of us to know? She's tired. She's still tired. I mean, we're what, 30 years on from this, and she's like, I'm still tired. I'm still recovering from it. I'm still healing. I'm still doing what I need to do. I'm still doing what I need to do. And it's for me. I'm still doing what I need to do for me. Gathering strength for the collective efforts that she will put forth once she does return. So I think we'll let Nicole rest for a little bit. But I hope that you guys found this insightful. I hope I addressed it with sensitivity. I really, when we're talking about DV, we can get into a sketchy space here on social media, and I don't want to misrepresent anyone's personal pain, least of all Nicole Brown Simpson. and the rest of her family. Ron Goldman. Again, I did not include Ron Goldman in this because I wanted this to be just a two-parter between the two of them. Interesting that Mark Garagos kind of came through. That was very interesting. It like popped right in there. So what I am going to do, guys, is I'm gonna drop these in to my YouTube studio. And if you have questions or if you would like to know anything further about this, if you want to see more like this, let me know in the comments. I will respond. I thank the individual who made this request. I will let you know in your old chat. My channel is entirely driven by requests and comments by all of you. So please put them in there. I absolutely take them seriously. I try and get to them as quickly as I can. I appreciate each and every one of you. So thank you so, so much. If you'd like your own magical reading, we can do the same thing with the climate, the weather, and what to wear. So if you'd like your own magical reading with me, you can either get instant readings with me on Hypsy during my live hours, or you can schedule readings in my Calendly. Hypsy also has a scheduling option. And for the 3rd and 4th of March, you'll be seeing this on the 4th. They do have a cashback blood moon feature going on. So you get some cash back if you use the Hypsy option. Hope to see some of you in my future. Again, let me know what you'd like to see for Wicked Wednesdays. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the future.